Hello everyone, I've got a game here for you. It'll be an English opening. The ECO code is A22 and our main theme will be the domination of the light squares by white and play on the queen side. This is a blitz game of 5 minutes plus 5 seconds per move. So let's get started. I'm playing white and I open with C4, E5, knight to C3, D6, G3, knight to F6, bishop to G2, knight to C6, and D3. And as you can see, white's developing his pawns and pieces for control of the light squares. His bishop long diagonal. These pawns here will control those two squares, and eventually white will bring his knight to F3 and back to D2 to assist on controlling these lights. And also white wants to eventually bring his rook to B1 and advance his queenside pawns up the board, and he'll be queenside and hopefully he'll be able to win a pawn, promote a pawn, and win the game. So as I said, my last move is pawn to D3 and black responds with H6. And normally one thing white likes to do is bring the bishop to G5 and exchange it for the F6 knight, because this knight helps control these two squares. Now that black has played H6, I won't be able to bring this bishop to the G5 square to exchange it for the knight. So I continue with my normal development, which is knight to F3, bishop to E7, high castle, black castles, and now I make a error and I played bishop to D2. I should have played bishop to E3, and like I said, I wanted to bring this knight to the D2 square, but I did not. Also, this bishop at E3 would help also put more pressure on the queen side. Now, the reason I played bishop to D2, which I'll explain in my next move, but anyway, black played bishop to G4, and then I played queen to C1. And even though I played it to D2, the idea I had could work just as easily from E3. And what I was thinking about doing was sacrificing this bishop at H6, retaking with my queen, somehow eliminating this and bringing my knight up here with a mate threat at H7. But this was kind of a fanciful plan, but really never came about. I should have just stuck to my original plan of concentrating on the queen side, and I actually misdeveloped my bishop. But I was fortunate enough to not be punished for it. I just played queen to C1, and now black plays bishop to F5. And I believe the reason he played this is because he knows I'm going to be playing my rook to B1, and he wanted to pin this pawn to my rook so I would not be able to use that particular pawn to push up the board and assist on my queenside play. I continue with my plan with rook to B1. He plays A6. And I played A3, preparing my pawn move of B2 to B4, rook to B8, and now B4. And now black plays knight to H7. And I believe also the reason he played this is because he wants to bring his bishop to G5 and exchange it for my dark squared bishop. You can see his bishop is pinned as a block behind his pawns and makes it not a very active piece. So what he wants to do is exchange that bishop for my bishop. I continued with my plan of B5. He retakes with his pawn, A takes B, and I take C takes B. And now he plays knight to D4. This turns out to be his first major mistake. It allows me to open the long diagonal with my bishop, and also to double his C pawns, as you will see very shortly. A better move for him would knight to A7. Then I would have maybe played E4, chasing the bishop back, and then he might have brought it back to G4. But he didn't play that. He played knight to D4. So I took with my knight. He retakes with his pawn, and now I play knight to D5, pressuring the C7 square and my queen. He plays bishop to F6, which allows me to win a pawn. At this time, I must say that black was beginning to get into time trouble, and I can see where he started to make his errors. Better move for him would have been rook to c8. I might have played like rook to e1, c6, b takes c, b takes c. I would move my knight, and white would have still had an advantage because of his outside passed a pawn. And I still would have had my light squared bishop, which could have put pressure along this diagonal and would have control of the queening square. But black played, like I said, bishop to f6. And now I'm going to take advantage of this and then move into the endgame. So what I did is I played queen takes c7, and he plays bishop to e6. I exchange queens, and he makes his second major error, which he played was rook at b takes d8. He took with the wrong rook. He should have taken with the other rook, rook at f to d8. Then I might have played, let's say, rook at f to c1, bishop g5, exchanging bishops. And again, I would still have a pawn majority on the queen side and control with my bishop of the long diagonal. But as I said, he played rook at b takes d8. Now I'm going to exchange down to a winning endgame. And by doing this, I start exchanging off my pieces since I'm up a pawn. And I played knight takes f6. He retakes. And now I play bishop takes b7, winning my second pawn. He plays rook at f to e8. I play bishop to c6, protecting my pawn. And notice that this bishop does control the queening square for my a pawn, which is a very big plus for me. Also, it's going to be very difficult for black to bring his knight around for any play on the queen side. His next move was rook to e7 since it was under attack, and I begin to push my pawn. I played a4, and now he plays bishop to a2. And like I said, black was under a lot of time pressure now, and these moves he's making now are just harassing moves. And I played rook to a1, which actually helps me put my rook on a better square, because now I have my rook behind a passed pawn that I have control of the queening square. He plays bishop to b3, and then I played rook at f to e1, protecting this pawn from possibly he might envision with his rook capturing at e2. At this time, black lost on time, and even though he did lose on time, I had a very overwhelming position. Not only am I up 2 pawns, but my 2 pawns that I am up are connected passed pawns, which I would be able to bring both my rooks behind eventually and control them from behind and push them forward to queen. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the game. I hope you've seen how I used control of my light squares, my light squared bishop, and the domination of play on the queen side to win this game. And I thank you very much, and until next time.